going on here. We've had wonderful presentations about the exciting work going on at UMKC and the great community engagement of this great urban university. And we are always excited to be here. So I'll take your questions.
So Pam, going off the two-day curators meeting today, did you end up getting any recommendations from the presidential search committee that you thought of?
The search is going well, and we're very pleased with our process, and we're very pleased with our progress so far.
Okay, and so when a search goes well, how exactly do you characterize that?
Well, we have the candidates have been very exciting, and we're pleased with the pool that we've received from our search firm.
And then did you narrow down the pool from that first set of interviews in St. Louis, and then this was...
Our search is going well.
All right, fair enough.
So, how's the atmosphere in the search committee? Is that, you think you're reaching a strong consensus on what you want and
The expanded search committee has just been fabulous. It's been a great working experience for all of us. We've learned a lot from each other, and it's been very enriching to have the additional viewpoints presented to the curators.
And the idea that it's a very close balance between the curators and the non-curators, or not on the committee, but everybody has a vote. How important are how much deference are the curators giving to the ideas and the wishes of the 7 non-curator members of the committee?
I wouldn't use the word deference because it has been a much more collaborative process than that, and there has not been a stratification of curators and non-curators. We've worked together as a team and shared ideas among all of us, and everybody brings a unique viewpoint to the table, and that's what's been so exciting about it.
And is the search committee going to meet again?
There's no plan for the search committee to meet in the future that I'm aware of.
So that means that the process is now in the hands of the curators?
The search is going well.
For this, there's been a lot of changes in this search for the next president than there have been in the past.
Yes.
And is the kind of, for lack of a better word, is this secrecy? Is this kind of just, a new way to do it, kind of this, with including the expanded search committee, just a better process as a whole?
The purpose, well, it's not new, but the whole purpose of the secrecy is to include, to make the candidates feel comfortable that they can come forward regardless of their current employment situation and talk with us without endangering their current status, and that's the whole purpose of it.
Florida,
It's under a hurricane watch.
Yeah, specifically on presidential searches, though, public universities bring people forward, finalists for public vetting. How would you say that one process is better?
Having not participated in that process, I couldn't offer an opinion.
Do you have any thoughts on whether an open or a closed process is more conducive to making a good choice, Dr. Moore?
Not really, but understanding that sitting presidents, I think, would be reluctant to get into a open search, simply because that sort of sends a signal to their current university that they're wanting to leave, and if they're not selected as a result of that search, that would probably create some difficulty when they go back to their permanent jobs. I can understand the need for maintaining some confidentiality. So I would probably lean towards the way in which our board is conducting this search.
And this is probably, I promise this is the last time I'll ask this question. Did you at any point become a candidate to replace for the permanent position?
Not to my knowledge.
And we've got the enrollment figures for all the campuses, the final official totals. I think you were quoting the first day totals and some of that today. The University of Missouri, the additional students.
Yeah, they gained about 500, I think.
Yeah, about 100 more than the post first day enrollment, late enrollments last year. So, I mean, is there anything significant that could be gleaned from that, or do you see it? Is there anything that says to you, or is it just probably year-to-year fluctuation?
Well, frankly, I don't know what kind of bump is typical after the preliminary numbers come out, but it's encouraging to me to see any increase in enrollment after what we went through last year. More impressive to me, though, is the retention rate, the freshman and sophomore retention rate from last year, which, as I recall, is 82 point something percent, which is 85%, close to a record freshman and sophomore retention rate, which tells me that the students who were on campus last November were not deterred from coming back. And I think that should be a signal to everyone that the MU campus is ready to continue to take bright, excellent students and give them a very, very powerful experience.
Dale Singer with KWMU is on the line, I believe. Dale, you have some questions?
Yes, I wanted to know, since the UMSL faculty has filed papers to have a union election, I was just wondering if the board has any philosophical thoughts about whether faculty union is good. I know universities in the St. Louis area, some of them have reacted to union efforts by being neutral, some have been in favor, some have been against. I was just wondering if the University of Missouri system has any philosophical thoughts about whether it's a good idea for faculty at UMSL to have a union.
Well, I'll take that one. Philosophical thoughts. I think that we have a shared governance system at the University of Missouri system, and hopefully at all universities, that is well equipped to handle the concerns and needs of faculty and students and administrators. And I do question the need to bring in a third party to be engaged in our fairly well-established process of shared governance. So philosophically, I'm a little less than neutral, because I so respect and prefer the shared governance process that we have. I would rather relate more directly with our faculty than to have to relate through a third party to address their concerns and needs. But even as I say that, if we've failed to do that, and our faculty wants a union and goes through the legal processes to form one, we will deal with that. We are not we're not union busters or anti-organization. I understand that papers have not been officially filed with the state. So when that occurs, we will respond appropriately and comply with all of the laws and regulations governing that.
Additional questions?
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the NLRB decision on graduate assistant unions at private universities is writing on the wall that the university will have to deal with the graduate assistants on the Columbia campus who are trying to unionize, and recognize that they have the right to have a vote at least?
Well, it's in your question you noted the primary difference. It was a private university situation, and it was not a decision that was made in the context of Missouri's system, Missouri's law. But indeed, for any court to say that graduate students anywhere have a right to unionize, it's maybe scribbling on the wall. But I wouldn't call it writing on the wall, because there are lots of distinctions between that case and ours. And again, with graduate students, I feel the same way as I do with faculty. I much prefer to deal directly with our graduate students on their concerns and needs than to deal with a hired third party that has no connection to the university. I don't want to deal through a representative. I'd rather deal directly with our graduate students.
Going back to presidential search, what are some of the things that, and you could both answer this, or one of you, what are some of the things you look for in our next president this current time?
Well, we are obviously looking for a president that will lead this university forward. That's one of our highest criteria. We want someone that will instill confidence in all of our constituency groups, the legislature, the alumni, the students, the faculty, and the citizens at large. And so those are the things we're primarily looking for.
Okay, and do you ever, I mean, coming into play, an educational background, that doesn't always have a bearing on who will end up in the position, correct?
Try again.
If they've, been in education.
Oh, experience within the academy.
Right.
That's certainly a factor, but not a deciding factor.
Okay. And what sort of, I guess I never really realized how much a president had to do with legislation. What kind of roles does the president and anyone who works with the president in that position have to do with the legislature? What do they go and do?
Well, obviously, funding is a big issue. The General Assembly provides a big part of our funding, and they are concerned about what happens on our campuses, as was demonstrated last year. And so it's very, very helpful when the President and the General Assembly have a good relationship.
Time for one more. Anybody?
I actually wanted to ask about the sports director, Austin Kim, wanted me to ask about your thoughts on the renovations to the football field or the $1 million.
South end zone.
Yeah, south end zone. So what are your thoughts? Have it come up during the meeting at all?
There was a presentation about the athletic department master plan, and it's conceptual at this point.
Okay, so no discussion at
No.
all on it, really? Okay. Any preliminary thoughts on it at all?
As to
It looks good. I mean, it's a beautiful facility, beautiful addition to their facility. Yeah.
Okay, so what would the role going forward of the curators be in that sort of thing?
we just have project approval.
Okay, so that's kind of your role. But that'll be more going
I think they ought to go forward with that while they're not quite filling the stadium.
It's
I don't
always an
know.
issue.
Yeah, we really haven't talked that much about it yet. By the time
It's at a
we,
very conceptual level at this point.
yeah, by the time we get into serious discussions about it, the stadium may be overflowing.
I was about to make that point myself.
Yeah.
If you knew how they were going to be playing 5 years from now, you could make a better decision.